balls so dry, they explode like dust. Suck my balls, suck my balls.
You must suck my golf balls. Mommy?
Yes?
Suck my balls.
You got a lot of growing up to do, buddy. Suck my balls.
Sorry I'm different, but you can just suck my clit and my balls. You know what? You know what? That's what. Suck my clit and balls. I don't have to suck your balls. Before this day is over, you will suck my balls. Suck my balls, fat ass. I will. I will suck your balls, Kyle. And I will get down on my knee and I will suck your balls. I'll suck them dry, Kyle. Suck my balls, Kyle. Well, excuse my French, Mrs. Marsh, but you can suck my fat, hairy balls.
Suck my big balls in your hairy butt hole. Suck your big balls in your hairy butt hole. Your hairy butt hole.
What is that?
It's my balls!
God damn it, Cartman!
How would you like to suck my balls?
What did you say?
I'm sorry. Actually, what I said was... How would you like to suck my balls, Mr. Darcy?
Holy shit, dude.
Born in New Zealand in 1604, a hot-headed actor named Russel Crowe. He loves to act, but he loves one thing more: fight round the world. He fights his directors and he fights his fans. It's a problem no one understands. If there's two things he loves, it's fighting and fight round the world. Making movies, making music, and fighting round the world. Russel Crowe.
Russel Crowe. I'm laughing because our guest announced it when we started the episode. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of
Suck my balls, suck my balls, my balls, suck 'em dry.
I'm your host, and the scene with the air is clean, and I'm lighting up that green. Ya boy, MSG. You can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Matthew_Schaffer. Each and every week, I'm joined by two guys who like to walk around with their pants undone as they sit in the sun and try to make love to someone. But I digress. Usually every week we are joined by our boy, Scoop Jackson. Scoop's work schedule changed. He's now working 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So we will be discovering a new day to record on later this week. We miss you, Scoop, and we hope you're enjoying work. But my third co-host here for the day, he's a man that, if you piss him off, he might get in his heater. He might get in his truck. Got a heater in his truck, feeling all fucked up. Don't piss him off.
God.
But ladies and gentlemen.
The rodeo. And it's time I left and now I'm right. Come on, you fucking let me get your right step right. Get on stage, goddamn Lucy knows. You piss me off.
Welcome back, Joe, to your podcast.
Oh, thanks. Like, the funny thing is, like, you're usually the one that's driving if we're in a vehicle together. So it's like you haven't even heard me. You haven't even been in the car with me while driving to
That's not fair.
the road rage.
You picked me up from the airport, so I did pick. I mean, it was early, so there wasn't enough time to establish said road rage. But I have driven in a car with you. I mean,
yeah, good point.
And you are going to take me to the airport, in a couple weeks. So there is that. But we're delaying enough here because, ladies and gentlemen, this week we have a guest. This gentleman is a South Park fan himself, has his own YouTube channel. I happened to come across his video because if you're not in the South Park Fans United group on Facebook, what the hell's wrong with you? It's our group that we're, I guess I'm in charge of whatever you want to call it. I don't feel like I'm in charge. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, Mr. Trace. How you doing, sir?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me. My name is Trace. I'm with Pierce Productions on YouTube. And also, I have a separate podcast talking about movies called the Only Film Fans Podcast.
Nice. The Only Film Fans Podcast. Well, I have more questions about that. But the first question we always like to ask whenever we have a brand new guest on the show, you got to tell us, how did you get into South Park?
Yeah, so you probably already know because you saw the video I uploaded on the Facebook group. But that didn't see that video. When I was younger, I kept seeing my parents talk about South Park, watching South Park, stuff like that. So probably around like 12 years old, maybe 13, I, in the middle of the night, would take the DVDs and take them back to my room and watch them by myself. And I got caught doing that after a while. I got away with it longer than I thought I would. But, and then my parents finally just said, you know what, like, let's just pick out some episodes we know aren't that bad to ease them into it. And then probably around like 14, it was just like, you can watch whichever episode.
Joe, why were his parents cooler than ours? They bought the DVDs. They watched South Park.
I don't know, man.
It was going to get sucked in another way. It's like natural selection at that point.
Right. And I mean, my dad kind of let me watch it from time to time, but it was more just don't put a TV in a kid's room if you're trying to control their content.
Well, I think that their reasoning was like, he already watched some of the episodes and he clearly likes the show because he keeps sneaking the DVDs. So fuck it. Let's just let him keep.
Oh, yeah. No, and I totally understand that side. I'm just like trying to think of like where my parents' mindset was.
Trace, I'm kind of with you, though. I mean, I did the whole sneaking around thing, too. It's just my parents, even to this day, never really got into South Park. But we had a TiVo at the time. So I would wait for them to go to bed. Or like 9:30, half hour before it started, I would record it. Everybody goes to bed early in my house. I'd watch it and then like delete it within that hour. I did that every Wednesday night when I was on as a kid. And then right about the age about 15, 16, when my parents were like, you know, you're getting good grades, you can go out and hang out with your friends. At that point, as long as I wasn't watching like porn or something, they didn't really care. You know, they're like, that's fine.
Yeah. South Park's actually something that three of us, my dad, my mom, and I all bond over. And it's actually like for some families it may be a little weird, but for us, like we just around quotes all the time, and it's awesome.
It sounds like me and Joe need to get invited to your Thanksgiving dinner because that sounds amazing.
They'll just adopt you.
Well, guys, we're here back for another edition. This is Suck My Balls 87. Once again, Trace, thanks for joining us. This is South Park Review Season 6, Episode number 5, the new Terrance and Phillip movie trailer. Of course, this is kind of an homage to their bigger, longer, uncut movie that had the first movie, which was Asses of Fire 1, where they paid a homeless guy to get into the movie. And he's going to make an appearance here as well. But to give you a synopsis and the backstory, the Terrance and Phillip trailer, or the new Terrance and Phillip movie trailer, I apologize, is the 5th episode of Season 6, the 84th overall episode. First aired on April 3rd of 2002. All the kids in South Park are glued to the television with the anticipation to see the first trailer for the latest Terrance and Phillip movie. Now, I never really got excited myself about a movie trailer other than maybe the new Star Wars stuff when it came out. But I did have these type of anticipation moments for games, right, where you're waiting to see the brand new trailer from E3, or this was 2002, so this was kind of right at the early onset of Tech TV. I was watching that, aka X-Play, on that channel itself. So I was getting into that hype as a kid into games and stuff like that. But Joe, did you ever experience where you were like so overly hyped for a movie trailer like this as a kid?
No, I am pretty much actually the opposite. I try to go into things as virgin as possible. So like I'll avoid trailers, I'll avoid spoiler articles, all kinds of things like that. Like all three of the Star Wars movies, the new trilogy, I managed to not see a second of footage before getting into the movie.
Spoken like a true wrestling fan, we've been burnt so much with surprises. We try not to get our hopes up. Trace, you've got a movie podcast, or you're into the movies. So do you have an example maybe when you were a kid, or even doesn't have to be a kid, but do you have an example maybe when you got hyped for a movie trailer?
Yeah, as a kid, I can't really say that I was paying attention to like movie trailers and stuff, but you know, now over the last couple of years, I got my own YouTube channel, stuff like that. It's part of my channel to pay attention to these trailers, but really the only trailer that I truly like, I was counting down the days, was probably the trailer that I truly was like waiting for was Infinity War and Endgame.
Nice. Yeah, those were some awesome trailers, and just what Disney has done, turning it into a huge universe, taking Marvel and translating that over. You know, Comic book nerd in me at times was like, what are you doing there? But overall, I think they do a pretty good job as far as translating the content over. So I agree there. Now, the start of this show episode starts off with the boys. They got Stan, Kyle, Cartman, and our Butters, our replacement Kenny, stay for the night at Stan's to see the new Terrance and Phillip movie trailer, which will be shown during one of the commercial breaks of Russel Crowe's Fighting Round the World. So we're going to go to our first clip here, and this is them getting ready for the show.
This is going to be so awesome. Do we have everything? Chips, pop, cookies, Kleenex, toilet paper, flares. We won't have to leave the TV room for anything. All right. Look, it's almost time.
Up next on HBC, the Russel Crowe Show.
All right, here we go.
So, yes, the boys are now sat down. They're ready to watch this movie. Now, while watching the first minutes of the show, waiting for the commercial to air, Stan's sister, Shelly, takes the remote from the boys in order to watch her favorite show, Buffy, the Vampire Slayer. Did you ever watch Buffy, Trace, growing up on the WB?
No, never.
I was a big Sarah Michelle Gellar mark. How about you, Joe?
I did not watch it. It was.
So I really didn't. You're telling me I'm the only one here that watched Dawson's Creek and Buffy as a young adolescent male.
I avoided stuff on the WB because it looked schlocky and girly.
Well, yeah, that's why you watch it, so you have something to talk about with girls the next day, Joe.
Yeah, well, this is why I was single until I got out of high school. Okay.
Okay. All right. Trace, did you ever watch Dawson's Creek?
One. I was single until after high school.
Okay. I don't want to wait for my life to be over. Anyway, Dawson's Creek. Katie Holmes was hot. Watched that when I was a kid. Plus the main guy, Pacey. I mean, he was fooling around with his teacher, his French teacher. And as a high school boy, who didn't have that, fantasy? So while watching the first minutes of the show, waiting for the commercial airs, sister comes in, wants to watch Buffy. Stan tells Shelly that she loves Russel Crowe a lot, but even she agrees and states that one thing she loves more than Russel Crowe is seeing Stan unhappy, explaining why she wants to watch Buffy.
It's not the show we care about. During one of the commercial breaks of tonight's episode, they're going to show the exclusive, never-before-seen trailer to the new Terrance and Phillip movie. It's the biggest night of the year.
That's stupid. See your turdy trailer some other time.
But all the other kids are going to watch it and talk about it in school tomorrow.
No turds.
Shelly, did I ever tell you how hot I think you are?
Shut up, fat turd.
I'm not a fat turd. I'm a stocky turd.
We're not watching this.
Come on. Look, I apologize.
But Shelly, it's the Russel Crowe show. You always said there's nothing you love more than Russell Crowe.
There is one thing I love more than Russell Crowe, and that is seeing you unhappy. So Buffy it is.
So I should explain to the listeners or somebody who maybe hasn't watched this episode, and you might hear it in the background. The whole point of Russel Crowe's show is he's making movies, singing songs, fighting around the world. So he just ends up in different locations. He mocks fans who are like, "Oh my God, it's Russel Crowe! Oh my God, it's Russel Crowe! It's the gladiator guy!" And then, "Oh my God, the gladiator!" proceeds to beat him up. And I've got some other clips in here that are a little long that I might play, but I've got the China clip, the China clip on here on the board, Joe, where he's like, "I'm in China." Gotcha, you little bugger. Anyway,
you're right, good.
You're so
there's been a lot of famous fights here, including in 1993.
So, nevertheless, Shelly does agree to let the boys watch the trailer, but only if they get her tampons. The boys decide on how to get the tampons, and they do so by playing the game. If your name is Butters, you have to go. Of course, Butters is the loser, and he's going to have to be the one to go get tampons.
Why'd you make that deal? If we're out buying tampons, we'll miss the trailer anyway. Yeah. Well, only one of us has to go to the store. The others can watch. You'd miss the new trailer? Dude, I'm not going. All right, we'll have to play for it. How about if your name is Butters, you have to go. Okay, so what's your name? Stan. Okay, what's your name? Kyle. What's your name? Butters. I lose, huh? Oh, yeah, Butters, you lose. Sorry, tough break. Well, just hurry, Butters. You can probably make it back in time before the first commercial break. Oh, Jesus, I gotta run like the wind. Dude, thank God for stupid people. Amen.
Cartman. He's just so manipulative, and it's so beautiful the way he implements it on Butters, and how Butters is like, "Oh man, I lose."
I gotta run like the wind.
Right? He's just such an innocent kid, and we'll get into it.
He's so pure.
He is, and we'll get into this just in a little bit here. But this episode, I feel like, Butters kind of messes him. He kind of f's himself up, fucks himself up with this episode, And in regards to being a friend, you never let your friends down in a big situation. And unfortunately, in this episode, Butters is going to let the boys down, as he has an unoccupied home, which we'll get to in just a moment.
Yeah, my man. Yeah, I'll get into it when we get to the end of the episode, though, because like you said, my man had golden opportunity for goddom in school.
Nope. The boys leave the house along with Butters, who happens to arrive with tampons just as they're about to leave. And that's going to be a recurring theme here in this episode, is that Butters is constantly running around throughout the episode with this pack of tampons. So they leave to go watch it at Kyle's house. Now they arrive at Kyle's house. Ike is watching the McNeil Lair report, and they kick him off the television. They get there before the first commercial break. Now, while watching Russel Crowe travel Tiananmen Square, China, and beat up some random Chinese people, the boys are forced to end up going elsewhere, as Kyle's father, Gerald, breaks it up and says that that every night or every week, this is Ike's time to watch the McNeil Lair report news hour. So the boys, they ask Butters if they can go there. He says no. So they end up realizing that Chef just got a brand new TV, so they're going to go to his house. But before we're doing that, we're going to recap here what happens at the Broflovskis.
Kyle, Ike says you kicked him off the TV.
They're going to show the new Terrance and Phillip trailer.
You know your brother watches McNeil Lair Report every night at 10.
It has a bunny bubble on the night. But Dad, this is all the never-before-seen footage.
It doesn't matter. 10 to 11 is Ike's time to watch McNeil Lair.
God damn it. Come on, guys. We gotta go to Butters' house. Oh, wait, fellas. We can't go to my house.
We can't go to my house either. It's being fumigated. Wait, Chef just got a new plasma screen TV with surround sound. Let's go to his house. Come on.
Joe just sent me a message. You pointed out to me. I skipped a clip. So you are right. In the matter of the clip itself, I'm sorry, prior to that, but while they're out, Cartman thinks the television color is saturated, this is what leads to this. So that Cartman accidentally blows up the TV.
What's wrong with the colors on your TV stand? They're all saturated. They look fine to me.
Just don't mess with it, Cartman.
No, the cable wire must be loose.
Just leave it alone.
Dude, do you want to see the Terrance and Phillip trailer with messed up colors? I don't. How's that? That's worse. Okay, how about that?
So yes, the television.
Dude, God damn it, Cartman, you broke it.
It was just, Butters, you asshole!
Butters isn't even there, and it's Butters, you asshole. That's the best.
Trace, have you ever exploded a television or any piece of electronic?
I can't say that I have, but it's just so stupid and funny that he just barely touches it and it just explodes.
Yeah, I think that's funny too, because I remember, and this could maybe just be me showing my age. I remember back in the day, Joe, my parents did not want me touching the cable. So I don't know if that was just the stigma back then. If you mess with the wires, maybe coming from the rabbit ear time frame, that if you mess with shit, it's going to mess with the picture. Am I reading that?
I think that might be the stigma. Yeah.
Okay. Because that was what I was picking up on. You don't touch the television because you don't want to mess it up. Well, as I mentioned there, boys tried to watch it at Kyle's house, got kicked out, so now they make their way over to Chef's just in time to watch the first commercial break.
There, you got it.
Freaking Indies, here they put up a fight.
We made it. Oh, thank God.
Russel Crowe? Sheridan, you shouldn't be watching a show about a man who beats people up because he's insecure.
We don't give two craps about Russel Crowe, Chef. We just want to see the trailer for the new Terrance and Phillip movie that's supposed to play during the commercials.
All right, everyone, we're going to take our first commercial break. But be sure not to go anywhere, because there's lots more people to beat up.
Here they come.
The commercials.
So like with anything, they went to commercial break. And I do find it interesting that we are reviewing an episode where the focus is on television and commercials, as that is my job field, where I watch and manage commercials breaks on a nightly basis. So in this episode, they definitely satirize the fact that television companies will use their current content or programming to advertise trailers and other potential upcoming content. And they do so by delaying it. They're never going to show you in the first commercial break. They never showed me the preview to Stone Cold Steve Austin on Nash Bridges during the first Raw commercial break. It was always the last Raw commercial break to make you watch after the overrun.
Well, yeah, and like they do this with the NBA finals almost every year where it's like, watch the new Star Wars or whatever movie Disney is popping out that summer. Watch the new trailer during the third quarter of Game 3 of the NBA finals.
Interesting. I didn't know they still did that. Shout out to Emergency Awesome. I watch for all my reviews and previews. Trace, big sports fan at all? Do you happen to catch any of these? You said you're a big fan of the Avengers and stuff like that, so it kind of plays into what he was saying there. Do you ever watch sports events just for trailers, or do you just like, I'll just wait for the game to be over and watch it?
No, sometimes I will watch just for the trailers. Yeah. I mean, like, even if it's like a team, I don't care. Because Joe's right. They absolutely do that during like big basketball games and especially like football and stuff like that. So yeah, he's totally right about that.
Yeah, I know they did it during the Super Bowl. That's really the only thing I can think of, big sporting event I may have watched in the last year or so, in which they've advertised.
No, they do it for UFC, basketball, stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. Now I know. I'm just tell people, hey, if you want to catch a new movie trailer, just watch a sporting event. To their disappointment, the boys, the trailer's not shown, as we mentioned there. It's going to be pushed to the last commercial break. So during the break, now, while continuing to watch Russel Crowe beat up African Americans and Puerto Ricans from New York this time, Chef tries to show the boys the features of his television. Now, he explains that his television has the ability to play 3 channels at the same time, which picture, that does sound pretty awesome. Now we're sounding like we're on a board. We're on a switcher board, okay? So that sounds pretty cool. I remember when Xbox One came out. So I used to do hardware testing for a company called Volt, and they in Washington, and they are contracted through Xbox. And I remember when Xbox One came out and I had my Xbox, they had this feature called Snap, where it allowed you to do picture-in-picture. So you could bring up like your internet browser, have a guide, but also have your video game screen up at the same time. Or when I was heavily into sports, I put on maybe like ESPN or ESPN Radio on one channel, and then I'd have the game going on the other. And as I became a tester, unfortunately, they phased it out for whatever reason due to space, or I blame Twitch for this, because before Twitch got popular, this was working fine, so I blame Twitch. I don't know where I was going with that, but picture would be awesome. Unfortunately, he cannot quite figure out how to work the remote. That being Chef ends up inadvertently activating a mode called HEM, Human Eradication Mode, and the television turns into an Ed 209-like machine. From RoboCop. This is the second time I've seen Ed 209, by the way.
No, that's not it. Let's see. Menu, function.
Dude, put it back, Chef. More commercials might come on soon.
Let's see. Menu. Oh, damn it.
Get it back to normal, Chef.
I'm trying, children. Menu, back, function, enter. No, back. HEM. Human eradication mode active.
Now, God
damn it!
Now, I didn't clip the end of this, but after he says "God damn it" and they run away, then you just see Ed 209 in the background still, like taking out people and killing people, and that's all he's doing this whole episode is murdering people in the background. So I just thought that was funny. So
while Chef follows it on the phone with customer support.
You said I hit menu and then function and then okay.
Oh wait, I can set the time from the remote. Tell me how to do that.
Turn o'clock? Tell me how to do that. Well, yeah, tell me how to do that. This is the second time where the boys are in a situation. Now, they had to call the Worcestershire sauce hotline, but that was technically, that involved Chef. And this is now the second time where Chef, now he has to deal with the customer service. Now, Trace, on our podcast, we want to let you know that at the time of the Halloween episode, myself and Scoop, we did call the Worcestershire sauce number that was listed on the episode. And when we called, it linked to an actual medical facility. They were like, hello, welcome to the medical facility. And we hung out. We were like, really? Oh, shit, it's a real number. It was like the number for the poison hotline or something like that. I was like, oh, this is a real number. Good on them. This isn't the first time they've done that where they've given out real numbers and we've called. Except there was something a couple months ago. We were like, man, we should have called that phone number, and we didn't call it. I don't remember what the episode was.
Yeah, and one of my boys who listens, like I saw him a couple weeks after that. He's like, why didn't you guys call? Like, sorry.
We were inebriated. So after Russell Crowe beats up his show editor in the next scene for cutting one of his fight scenes short, the barkeeper kicks the boys out of the bar since no children are around. And this is because after the television crashes, the boys are like, well, where are we going to go? We can go to the bar. So they go to Skeeter's. However, the barkeeper's like, you guys are kids. You can't be in here. And Kyle's like, how dare you, sir? We are midgets. And he threatens them with discrimination and prejudice. But bartender knows better because he says, your lips are too full.
Who the hell do you think you are?
I'm the editor.
I know you're the blooming editor. I mean, who do you think you are cutting one of my fighting scenes short?
Dude, the director said to cut it.
My fighting is poetry. You don't edit Russell Crowe's poetry, you testicle.
Well, that guy's just plain nuts.
Hey, whoa, you kids can't be in here.
We're not kids. We're full-grown men with dwarfism. How dare you assume that all midgets are children? We demand an apology.
You ain't midgets, your lips are too full.
You ain't midgets, your lips are too full. Hey, what are you doing? Go ahead.
Doesn't Cartman say Butters will give handjobs in the bathroom?
He does. I have that clip here. Let me see. Do I have it? Russell Crowe. Oh, my God. Yeah, here we go.
Look, this is a bar. We can't have children in here. People come here for debauchery and sin.
Butters will give handjobs in the corner for $1.
Sure, I'm good at all kinds of jobs.
That's right. You're right. Good call out. I'm glad I clipped that too because I knew that might come up later. So, yes, Butters will give handjobs in the corner for $1. I'm good at all types of things. Fucking Butters always willing to step up to the plate. Old Butters
always trying to be a pleaser.
Always trying to be a pleaser. Old Butters here is good at opening his mouth. Here I am. So the boys arrive now because Chef's, as we mentioned, is still following around the television, and the bar kicked him out, as you heard. So while Chef is talking to the robot via customer service hotline to stop it, the boys eventually decide, let's go to the old folks' home. Let's go to the Shady Acres retirement home and watch the Russell Crowe show, not caring, of course, that the old people are using the TV. So from there, after watching Russell Crowe sing a song which results in his tugboat friend Tugger attempting suicide, the second commercial break comes on, and South Park itself in the episode ends up taking another real commercial break.
This show is too violent.
Wait, is that it? Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
This show is too violent. Put the puppies back on.
Yeah. Shut up. Shut the hell up. We're watching this until the next commercial, and that's final, old people.
All right, that does it. We know how to get our way. Everyone, on the count of 3, release your bowels. 1, 2.
Ah! Oh, God, it's horrible. That's disgusting, dude.
God, I hate old people.
Oh, God.
Cartman is the best. God, I hate old people. Back-to-back episodes with Cartman, because in the last episode we had the hippies. So, and of course, we all know Cartman hates hippies. But in this episode now, he's got to deal with the old people. I just kind of end up feeling bad for Cartman. They're really laying it on thick, with all the people he hates.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you get?
And Russell Crowe's song that drives Tugger to attempted suicide is just hilarious. You know that you're my baby, 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 baby.
That looks awesome. They were wearing cowboy.
Anyway.
Jesus Christ, how long is this commercial break going to be? What if they don't show the Terrance and Phillip trailer at all?
Anyway, so second, I did skip a clip here. I want to go back. There was right before the second commercial break.
So I'm supposed to press menu, then function, then enter.
So that was, of course, Chef walking around. But yes, you're right. Then Tugger in the next scene, and I have the song here clipped. It's just a little long. I didn't want to play all of it. But they have the committing of suicide here. It happens later on afterwards. So it happens after the episode. Later on in the episode, I'm sorry. But yes, Tugger commits suicide, therefore sending Russell Crowe into a tailspin, unfortunately. So having nowhere else to go, now the boys go to Cartman's house instead to watch the Russell Crowe show, even though Cartman's house is being fumigated. However, the gas ends up proving to be too strong, and they leave Cartman for Stan's house to use the black and white television. There's a problem though, as we mentioned, because they get back to Stan's house and they realize Butters goes, "Holy crap! I've had Shelly's tampons the whole time." And due to that, as soon as Stan turns the front door, the door flies open and a torrent of blood gushes through the door, flooding the boys back into the street.
Hurry, the nurse will be on any minute. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus, help me. Oh, lots of donuts. Oh, God. Leave no donut behind. Oh, Jesus. Wait. What? I never gave Shelly her tampons. She's been this whole time without them.
I told you I needed tampons, Terrance!
So as you heard there, totally needed those tampons, turds. Trace, I apologize if this is disgusting, but have you ever experienced a situation where you had to deal with this?
No, I didn't grow up living with my older sister. So
Okay.
no.
All right. So I know, Joe, you grew
What
up.
about you?
No, my sister was 9, or they were 9 years apart. So by the time she would have been going through that, I would have been in my 20s and wouldn't have been around that. Joe, you grew up around some chicks. Did you ever have to go through this?
No, no, I didn't. I had to make a late night Walgreens run one time because someone's my ex's started and she was not prepared, but that's about it.
Okay, 1 second. I want to see what I have on the board. What is this?
Hurry, the nurse will be on any minute.
Oh wait, that's the same clip. I'm sorry. What clip is this?
Oh my God, it's Russel Crowe. Oh my God, it's Russel Crowe. Oh my God. Why don't you mind your own business, you scrouter? Making movies, making songs, and flying around the world.
Guess I just clipped that just to keep that on the board. Anyway, I thought I had clipped the whole "Gotta work for your baby." I was gonna play that Russell Crowe song. I thought I had it here. Apparently, I don't know where I'm putting it. Okay, so moving on now. After the boys give Shelly the tampons or drop the tampons off, we can't really give it to her after they exploded all over the street. With all the other options possible, they see some crack addicts now on the street with a small TV and join them to watch the Russell Crowe beating up a man with cancer, since he himself cannot find cancer, so he's going to beat up a guy who has cancer, which is kind of funny. From there, the man, of course, is rail thin, hooked up to an IV or an oxygen tank. The show is interrupted by Chef's TV destroying the tiny TV and killing one of the crack addicts. Now, as I mentioned at the top of the show, one of those crack addicts was actually the same crack addict who bought the boys the movie tickets for the original South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut. Of course, Chef is falling and still talking to the customer service location.
Well, we couldn't find cancer, but we found a man with cancer. Take that, cancer, and that.
The last commercial break has to be coming any second.
Yes, I pressed menu 3 times. No, it's giving me the same error message. Yes, I read the instruction manual.
All right, so after that, the boys are now lost with nowhere else to go. And with the last commercial break to be shown in seconds from then, they ask Butters one more time, "Butters, why can't we go to your house?" And Butters finally explains, "Oh, my parents are home and I don't have a babysitter, which is why I'm staying over at Stan's house." Of course, the others are now pissed, with even Stan saying we can kill Butters later. And this, at this point, we'll talk about it more here in the trivia and the pop culture, but this is definitely the pivotal point of Butters where he fucks himself up in the group, and there's a reason why he's going to lose his spot. But let's go to that clip here.
Where do we go? Oh, Jesus, now where do we go? We've tried everywhere. Butters, are you absolutely sure we can't go to your house? I'm sure. There's no way. Why not? Because my parents are out of town and I don't have a babysitter.
Oh, God damn it, you better be kidding.
No, I really don't have a babysitter. That's why I'm staying at Stan's. This whole time your TV is in a house with nobody in it?
Come on, let's just go. We'll kill Butters later.
Trace, as a kid growing up, did you ever have any friends, or were you that one friend that would have been like, would have pulled the Butters here?
Maybe by accident.
By accident, okay.
Yeah.
I never personally had any friends I can think of off the top of my head that was this gullible right now. Or not, I wouldn't say gullible, but naive enough to think, well, I've got a whole house to myself and my parents aren't here. Why don't we just go back to my house? Also, I want to, even though they do blame Butters, Joe, is it not fair to put the onus back on Stan a little bit too? You know Butters is staying at your house.
Right. Some of that is on Stan, but like Butters at the same time knew his parents were leaving town weeks in advance. He could have started planning all kinds of stuff to do while his parents were out of town. He knows he's going to get grounded for looking at them the wrong way anyway. Might as well just like go for the gusto.
And they already kind of went through the premise of getting rid of their parents, just kick those old records off the shelf, right? When they said the molested word and the M word and all the parents got banned. So we've already gone through that episode. The kids have gone through an experience, but they haven't had parents for a specific amount of time. They know how to survive. So yeah, but it is Butters. So I guess we can't really expect Butters to plan anything devious, which is why I say, I think a little bit of the onus does go back on Stan. Stan should have been like, wait a minute, Butters, your parents are out of town. We're going to your house. You know what I mean?
Right. But
maybe that's just me. I would have been the character of that Stan. Like, what the fuck? Why can't you? No, we're going to your house. Shut up. We're going right now. They get to Butters just in time to view the last commercial break, and the new Terrance and Movie trailer finally airs.
Jesus Christ, how long is this commercial break gonna be? What if they don't show the Terrance and Phillip trailer at all? What if we went through all this for nothing? They have to show it. They promised they would.
You guys, calm down. This is what TV shows always do. They make the last commercial break the longest.
That's bullcrap. TV shows are gay.
Wait a minute. Look. The following preview is... This is it. This is it.
Coming this summer, the greatest Canadian duo of all time is back.
So I don't have the whole clip there because then it just turns into what you would hear is just sound effects of text flying across the screen.
Yes.
This summer, Terrance and Phillip words will fly at the screen really fast. And then it ends with them farting. And then it just goes, asses afire too. And then the boys freak out. So, of course, as I mentioned, the trailer turns out to be incredibly vague teaser consisting of nothing but ambiguous text and a shot of the two farting while dressed as cowboys. This does not stop the boys from becoming ecstatic, having seen it. Happy and satisfied now, the boys find out that they can actually go to Clyde's house to see the trailer whenever they want, as he taped it.
That looks awesome! They were wearing cowboy hats. Did you see?
Clyde, did you see it? Yeah, we think it's going to be good, too.
I'm so glad we didn't miss it.
You guys, Clyde said he taped it and kids can come over now to see.
Oh, dude, let's go. It looks even better than their first movie, huh?
Yeah, it sure does. I wonder if it's all a Western.
How far away is June?
How far away is June? Yes. A very vague trailer. Now this does piss me off sometimes when movie trailers do this. Like the new Spider-Man trailer that came out with the last year. I'm like, that's not really a trailer. You're not really giving me anything. These are teasers. Tired of these teasers. Give me the full trailer, Trace. I want the full trailer. Stop teasing me. What's the point of teasing me? So you're teasing me to watch your trailer so I can watch the trailer to watch the movie?
Exactly. It's a marketing tool.
Yeah. All right. It's a lot of redundancy is what it is. All right. And I'm a little resentful that they said television sucks. That's my job. No, I get what they're saying. Commercials do suck, actually. A lot of time. I mean, commercials pay for my bills. So thank you, commercials. But yes, as a viewer, when you're sitting there watching it, it does suck. Now the boys end up wrapping up the episode as they leave the Russel Crowe show. The Russel Crowe show is still being shown on television as Russel Crowe wraps up his song. And I have the outro song. That's how we're going to end the episode today. But Chef TV is still on the rampage as the episode ends.
So I'm supposed to press menu, then function, then enter.
So yeah, there you go. So that's going to do it, guys, for another edition of the Suck My Balls recap. We'll be right back with a word from our sponsors, and then we'll go over our trivia and our pop culture.
So we just want to take this time out to recognize our sponsor, the Baked Boys Club. BakedBoysClub.com provides you with all of the sickest apparel available for all your cannabis-related merchandise representation needs. My boy here, Ian, lighten back. How you doing, dude? I mean, he's baked. We're baked.
Yeah, just chilling.
Baked. You know, Big Boys Club. Yeah, I mean, They've got some sick ass merch, dude. Like hats.
Yeah, I just ordered the big mystery box with the hat, the 2 shirts.
I'm jealous.
And the sticker.
Like
with the using our coupon, it brought it down to 47, baby.
Oh my God. Go to Suck My Balls pod code. If you enter that in at bigboysclub.com, put that in their coupon code is what I was going to say on the payment page.
Yes.
Or a little baked. We want you to be baked with us. So join the club. Go to bigboysclub.com. Not just a brand. It's a lifestyle.
Light.
You mate. Stupid. Okay, seriously, what?
I know.
Is this it?
How would you like me to sing one of the songs off me new album?
There it is, Joe.
Tugger, you say you really love the
play this
songs
as
on my
the
album? All right then, Tugger. Know that you're my baby. You know I need you now. I gotta get there somehow. I gotta get there somehow. Gotta get there somehow. You can stay away tonight, but I'm gonna sleep in these lovely clouds. Shout! Think I feel your heartbeat. Can you feel mine? Gotta take your love, so I gotta take it. Tugger! Tugger shot himself!
Once again, shout out to our sponsor, thebakedboysclub.com. Use the code SuckMyBallsPod and you'll save 15% off of your order. The Baked Boys, not just a brand, it's a lifestyle. Also, shout out to our host, Hami Media Group, Rat Salad Review, and the R&R Pod Network. While we don't have Scoop here, might as well make the quick announcement just so you guys know, as of episode 100, we are going exclusive on our own feeds. We thank Hami Media Group, Rat Salad Review, and the R&R Pod Network for hosting us. But, we get enough downloads now on our own feed to support our own self, and the ad revenue pays for the space too. So I know you guys actually download and listen to the show. It's crazy. So thank you for downloading and listening to the show, because now we don't have to pay for the space to host the show. You guys just listen to it and ad rev pays for itself. So we sincerely appreciate you listening, sharing, and telling your friends and family about the show. And if you're in the professional wrestling business, we know you listen to the show too. So shout out to you as well. But we're going to get into some of our trivia. Joe, why don't you read us some of our trivia? And we'll take a little bit, line by line here, just in case our guest wants to jump in. But why don't you start?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Of course, since Kenny's dead right now, he didn't have much, if anything, to say. He said nothing. This is the final episode to feature Butters as Kenny's replacement before being replaced with Tweak in the following episode, Professor Chaos.
Can't stay here, but you got to get the fudge out.
Get the fudge out.
The fudge out. Go ahead, sorry.
That's cool. The medal attached to Russel Crowe's chest is most likely a reference to his grandfather's OBE decoration that Crowe wore to the 2001 Academy Awards.
Trace, you're a big film guy. Was Russel Crowe, does he come from a family of actors and stuff like that? Film majors, stars? Do you know?
That I actually don't know. I'm not sure.
It's all good. Just figured I'd ask. I know that a lot of these Hollywood families, right? They kind of just stays in the family. One actor ends up being the son or daughter, vice versa. So I didn't know. And since the tribute factoid was there, I didn't know if his father was.
I just Googled it. His grandfather got the MBE for cinematography documenting World War II footage.
There you go. So his grandfather was a producer, director, kind of like us in that sense. So it'd be like us doing movies and then having kids and they become more famous than we
are. When one of Russell's fight scenes is cut short, he confronts and beats up the editor. This is a reference to when he was partly cut out of the 2002 BAFTA Awards, which is the British Alliance for Film and Television, if I recall, and went on to accost the show's producer because of it. The part that was cut out was a poem he read, and then screaming at the editor, "That fighting's my poetry. No one edits my poetry."
I want to say he got a lot of backlash for this for many years, right? Like he just wasn't cast in a lot of movies because of how he acted on set, right?
Yeah, he got some backlash for this. He got the backlash for beating up fans and getting drunk and stuff. Like it just about everything they parodied the man on in this episode.
He's making movies, singing songs, fighting around the world.
Fighting around the world.
Something I gotta give him though is he did take this episode like a good sport. If you go back and watch like old interviews on YouTube of people referencing this, he says that he took this as a learning lesson, like the episode making fun of him.
Yeah, he actually did take it in stride, which is good for him.
So Trace, you know, on the podcast here, our ultimate goal is to either get Matt and Trey to come on the show or them to make fun of us and kill us off. So if they made fun of us, we would be the podcast would be done. I'd be like, well, podcast is over. We got they made fun of us. We can stop doing this show now. That is my I even have a pitch for the idea. So if you want to pitch this idea and you come across them, I don't care as long as we end up in the episode. But the idea I have for the episode, it's relevant. Cartman starts his own podcast. It's like the Suck My Balls South Park podcast, but there's already a podcast in town, so he's got to kill off the people to take over. So that's where we would come in. We'd be the guys in the beginning, and then Cartman would kill us off. We could even be no names. They could just be making fun of us for doing podcasts, and they kill us off. That's my ultimate goal.
That'd be awesome.
I know, right? But the only other option, the third option is a route none of us really want to take. But, and I don't think we can take it now because we're 87 episodes in, so it wouldn't be realistic. But the third option would be to be anti-South Park. You know how South Park always makes fun of people that hate them? So that would be the third option, would be to pretend to hate South Park so they could get us on, make fun of us, kill us off, and then we can go on Twitter afterwards and be like, yo, this was our total plan. Like we wanted to get on the show. You know what I mean? Thank you. But 87 episodes in, I don't think you can take it seriously that we don't like the show. I don't think that.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think that boat left the pier.
It traveled to China for sure.
Yeah. This is one of only 2 episodes to be shown in real time, the other being The Snook from season 11, which parodies 24. In Australia, the United Kingdom...
This is apple juice. It makes me fart. It makes me have extreme violent nasty farts.
Oh my God, yeah. In Australia, the United Kingdom, and possibly some other countries, the episode was cut with fewer ad breaks, meaning they were not synchronized with the ad breaks in Fighting Around the World, which kind of ruins part of the appeal of the episode with how meta it was.
Yeah, that would be weird. That'd be like me running an episode of let's say Seinfeld, and then them in the middle of a song of them cutting the break or something without it actually. Yeah. I'd be like, what's going on? That does freak me out sometimes because I have run shows like that in the middle of the night where they don't take a normal commercial break and then they'll come back and you're like, oh, I guess that would have been a commercial break right there. So
right. In Red Dead Redemption, there is an achievement or a trophy, depending on your console of choice, called Fighting Around the World, which is a reference to the Russel Crowe show and joke.
A game I have still yet to play.
Mm-hmm. In the scenes where the kids are running between houses, every house on the block has the number 2001. This includes Stan's house. The only one that isn't numbered 2001 in the whole episode is Chef's. And yeah, I was going to call this out too, but I'm glad that someone else called it out when putting the format together. In Russel Crowe Fighting Around the World, Crowe says that the Tiananmen Square massacre happened in 1993 when it actually occurred in 1989.
This is Tiananmen Square. Lots of good fighting has gone on here throughout the years, including a fantastic massacre that took place back in 93. These Chinamen can grow to over 5 feet tall, and in a fight, are known to kick with their legs. Let's see if we can get in for a closer look. Oi! I've gotten close enough now that they're starting to get real frightened. You can see the fine hairs on the back of their necks standing on end. Gotcha, mate!
Hey, 你在干什么？放我这下了！
Oh, you wanna fight, huh? Think you can take me, you little buggers? Oh.
放我这下了！哎，你在干什么？放我了！哎呀！哎，帮我忙！哎！
I just like how they badly imitate the Chinese here. Oh, bring shit! Ow, ow, ow!
Yeah.
I love how he just like kills him with one punch.
He keeps bringing around an artificial ficus to hide behind.
That's right. That's the episode. Like he does it here, and then later with the Puerto Ricans and the Mexicans,
yeah,
or the blacks.
They're Puerto Ricans and African Americans. Right. Yes.
He has the tree and he pops up on the basketball court. Hey man, isn't that Russel Crowe from that? Isn't that Gladiator guy?
Oh my god! It's a Gladiator guy.
Oh my god! All right, so that's your trivia here. Let me wrap up some of your pop culture and continuity. The scene where Russell Crowe is driving a boat is similar to the scene in the cartoon Steamboat Willie. Mickey Mouse appears for the very first time. As we mentioned, Chef's TV transforms into robots, similar to Ed 209 from the RoboCop franchise, and it's also the second time we've seen Ed 209, as we saw him in the Korn Halloween special.
Yeah, where Kenny's costume still loses.
That's right. The song which
they really love them some RoboCop.
They do. The song which Russell Crowe sings his tugboat is a parody of a 30 odd foot of grunt song, Things Have Got to Change. And the theme song for Russell Crowe's show is a parody of the Lumberjack song by Monty Python. And then, as I mentioned here, some continuity. The homeless man that was killed by the TV robot is, of course, the same homeless man who bought them the tickets for South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. This movie is rated R by the Motion Picture Association of America. Are you sure you want to let your kids see this movie? Hey, he says this movie's rated R and you shouldn't watch it. Look, Mr. Homeless Man.
Listen, old man.
Listen, Mr. Homeless Man. If you don't want to get your money, and you don't want to get paid for booze, and you don't want to get drunk, and not get drunk.
6 tickets, please.
6 tickets, please. The kids go to the retirement home. The old people are watching Puppies from around the world. This is actually the same show that was shown in the previous episode of Fun with Veal. And
it's the same show that Clyde uses to win the ratings.
Actually, I was going to say it's similar to Clyde's close-up angle with a wide angle, or close-up shots with a wide angle lens. It's a little bit different, which we'll find out in sexy action super school news. This is the second time the boys are kicked out of Skeeter's Bar and Cocktails. The first time was in Sexual Harassment. Panda. I already mentioned about Korn's Groovy Pirate Ghost Mystery. And then the last thing, Terrance and Phillip's new movie is the sequel, as we mentioned, to the film that made in South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. So that's your trivia, pop culture, and continuity. Trace, we'll start with you. What did you really like about this episode? What's some of your top moments in this episode?
Some of my top moments are probably my favorite moment, and we already went over this, was the TV exploding and Cartman blaming it on Butters. That one, no matter how many times I watch that scene, I'll always laugh. Another scene that I really enjoy is, Chef running around in the back with all the chaos happening while he's on the phone. Something that I don't know, probably like the tampon scene that I don't really know that needed to be in there, but I mean, it's still pretty funny, but compared to the rest of the episode, it kind of was one of the weaker parts.
Okay, nice. Thanks for giving us your top light there. We probably are going to have a lot of similar top likes, Joe, which I can tell because you didn't write much down. But the first thing is Cartman exhausted during every run sequence, which you kind of heard there. I kind of clipped a little bit, but every time Cartman runs between the two houses, oh my God, you guys, seriously, guys, oh my God, drop my donut. No donut left behind. So I thought that was hysterical that the boys are all running like frantically, but you just always end up seeing Cartman in the background struggling to get there. Of course, Cartman hating old people. Anytime Cartman bashes on a group of people, while it may be anti-Semitism, bigotry, it's hysterical because it's just not something I or most people that I hang out with would make commentary on. So it's funny. Of course, Chef's TV causing a rampage, it never getting solved. I just thought that was kind of funny that by the end of the episode, you still hear Chef menu, function, then enter. I thought it was funny being a master control operator, just a commentary on television commercial breaks itself. As someone who works in a television station 5 nights a week, who will be back on it tonight, running the Texas stations. I deal with commercials on a nightly basis. Of course, Russel Crowe, all of it, everything from his fighting, his singing, the different locations of being in Tiananmen Square to being in New York to the tugboat killing himself, everything about Russell.
The whole part of that, the Russell Crowe element of it, really felt to me like it was a parody of the PBS shows or like the Jack Hanna shows from like Saturday mornings at like 6 a.m. on NBC or something. Like, hey kids, today we're gonna go.
You just have to bring up Jack Hanna, the show that I have to fucking prepare and watch every weekend. Fuck you.
TV, I love you.
TV exploding. You wrote that down. Trace, we already mentioned that. And then Joe, the one thing you did write it down. What'd you like here?
Yeah, it was just chef with customer service the whole time because, like you said, we had a lot of the same likes. Although you went with the whole Cartman being exhausted every run, I was going to go with the specific one where he drops the donut. Oh no, donut! And turns around. But like Chef just like perfectly exemplifying almost anyone's experience with customer service over the phone at one point or another was great. Like, yes, I did that. And then they bring up something that has nothing to do with like the function you're trying to fix at the time. Yeah, like, well, yeah, tell me about that later.
You can upgrade your phone? Oh, really? Yeah, I get what you're saying. Trace, you and I pretty much had the same thing. I did not like the period scene either. I didn't think it was kind of necessary. I mean, it was funny, and I get it. It did have some connection into the episode, but in the whole arc of the show, it really didn't have a place, if you will. I mean, it was kind of nasty. So I agree with you there. And then the last thing I wrote down was Butters.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the last thing I wrote down was Butters. I mean, while I didn't like it, I didn't like the fact that Butters didn't show up for his friends. He didn't tell them that he had a house that they could go watch the show at, because ultimately he gets himself kicked out of the group of friends. This is the last straw. They already hated Butters from before. The freak strike, they robbed him of Cartman's prize. They went to Aspen and, they fucked with him there in Aspen. That's why they call it Aspen. So, like, Butters dropped the ball here, Joe.
I think that might be Butters' naivety and fear of God of his parents, though, too. And just, like, because he very rarely ever, if ever, does anything to go against his parents' wishes or anything like that. And they've got a very good job of putting fear of God into their child. So maybe it was just kind of the programming or whatever that his head is in from them.
We're going to find out later, though, he's ungroundable. Okay. So that's no excuse. Yeah. Butters. Per se. So that's the episode. Trace, give us your thoughts, your wrap. What is it that you like about? I mean, as a whole, what do you think about this episode?
As a whole, I think that this episode is kind of underrated. I think that I put this in the top 10 episodes of all time. Definitely, I would say in the top 50, and it's one that I go back frequently and rewatch because. Even there's a couple scenes we don't like. Overall, it is a very funny episode, and you either get the joke or you don't.
I would agree. I would have to agree with that statement as well. It's in my top 100 as well. Probably one of my top 100 episodes, or maybe top 50 with you there. The songs are catchy, making movies, singing songs, fighting around the world. I probably say that at least once a month to myself. Making movies, singing songs, fighting around the world. I know Joe probably sings that to himself. Making shows.
Oh, yeah, totally. Making movies, making songs, making wrestling, making songs, and fighting around the world. But, yeah, it's...
Did I say you could tell us? No, I'm just saying. Go ahead, no, Joe. Is this in your top?
It's in my top 50 to 75. It's one of those episodes that you would probably have to have had... been around at that time to understand some of the jokes they're making at Russell's expense with him, with the whole BAFTA awards, you don't cut off my poetry and stuff like that. But even then, even if you don't know who Russel Crowe is, it stands alone enough on its own with the comedy and everything that it still holds up. But
well, let me interject. Yeah. It did stand alone before the Suck My Balls podcast came. So if you were born in the last 15 years and you have no idea, 15, 20 years, you have no idea what any of that information on the episode happened, you have us, where we'll be your tour guide through the annals of retro history as we continue to age and get closer to death. That being said, what a way to end the podcast. Joe, what's going on in the world of Joe? Do you have any fun stuff coming up here in your fancy life you got going
on? August 28th, Boulder, Colorado, Boulder Taco Fest. We'll be doing some Lucha Libre matches. I'll be cracking some jokes, all kinds of fun stuff like that. August 29th, we will have the Protagonist at the Watering Bowl in Denver, Colorado. AEW's Ryzen will be in the house. That was a pretty good get. September is going to be busy, but I'll tell you more about September when we get closer.
Trace, it has been an awesome privilege to have another guest, another friend to join the show. Plug us. Tell us all where they can find you. What are you doing? Any current projects you have coming up in the future?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. It was a blast. Every Sunday, I have a new episode of the Only Film Fans podcast come out.
Okay.
YouTube and on all podcast platforms, and along with my own YouTube channel, Pierce Productions, where I have movie reviews coming out every week.
Awesome. So if they want to just find you on YouTube, just youtube.com/Pierce Productions?
Correct.
All right. Sounds good. Do you have a Twitter or social media you want to plug? They can follow you there, like maybe put out an update. Hey, we're going to be doing this movie or something like that?
On Facebook, also under Pierce Productions.
There you go. Awesome. And of course, you guys, I'm your host on the scene where the air is clean and I'm lighting up that green. Ya boy, MSG. You can follow me on Twitter, on Instagram at Matthew_Schaffer each and every week. I also host, I did. I guess I just announce it here. You guys, if you're listening to this podcast, the news has already come out. I'm going to be leaving Hami Media Group. Been with Hami Media Group for 4 years, producing content and podcasts and whatnot. And it's been a special role for myself to grow as an individual podcast and producer, help getting this platform, Hami Media Group, to close to 3 million downloads. But as they venture forth in the, I guess you might say, merging under the Realm Network, it is time for me to spread my wings and make our own content. There's a lot of stuff that me and Joe that we don't have time to do during the week that involves South Park. So this is going to also free up other time and other content creation. I'm sure I'm going to be bothering Trace, be like, hey, you want to do a top 10 video or something like that with me? So I'm sure we'll have to link up in the future because it's something that we know that nobody wants to sit on YouTube and watch a 60-minute YouTube video. Even though we have subscribers, we get better on the downloads on the podcast. So we know that we got to get better on creating better micro content on YouTube so that way people will watch the full podcast. So that will be coming in the next couple of months here as we get everything aligned, as well as we got something special planned for the 100th episode without giving it away the guests. We're hoping by then, because we are in Denver and the CDC says we do not have high rates, we're hoping by then a special place in South Park will be reopening, and the creators of said South Park are interested in purchasing and reopening this location. That's the only hint I'm going to give you. You can put it together, but we're hoping to record from said location for our 100th episode. You guys, this has been another edition of Suck My Balls podcast. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Suck My Balls Pod, and we're on Facebook at South Park Pod, or just type in Suck My Balls, a South Park review, and we'll come up. We'll be back next week for another edition of I'll just let Cartman do it.
Suck my balls, suck my balls, my balls, my balls, suck 'em dry.
Uh-oh, Tugger's whistle. You know what that means? Tugger's whistle's blowing, means we must be going. No more Russel Crowing for you. But now don't you start to whine. I'll see you again next time, 'cause there's plenty of more fighting left to do. Making movies, making songs, and fighting round the world. See you next time, everybody.